Hello, happy Friday. It is just almost 11 o'clock here in central Mexico where I live, and I wanted to come on live to answer some of your most pressing questions. You have probably noticed I've been posting a ton about AI images and vision boards, and I want to scream it from the rooftops, and I get a lot of questions. And so I want to just come on and answer some of those questions. So you're not alone if you're like, what is this all about and what's going on and is it really working? So let me just go through. I put a ton of them together and I'm going to answer them for you. So what exactly is an AI image vision board? So this is a custom lifelike image put onto a vision board. So I use my AI images for my screensaver on my phone, on my computer, and I also have them onto a proper traditional template for a vision board. And so what it does is it shows me my dream life back to me, but I'm actually in each of those images. And I think that is such a huge part of why these vision boards are so much stronger and so much more effective than a traditional vision board. So you can be on a stage, you can be reading a book that you've written, you can be going to the traveling places on your bucket list that you love, and you are physically in those images, which is why it's your future self is thanking you for already doing what you're looking at doing. So question number 2 is, can't I make this on Canva or using Pinterest? Of course you can. When I brought my very first vision board workshop online in 2016, we still used magazines and glue guns and all of that stuff. And it wasn't until Canva and technology kind of caught up that we changed the game a little bit. But the difference is we are now using your images. So I don't know if you've ever had a situation where you're trying to find this image in your head of you doing something, fill in the blank, and you couldn't quite find it on Canva, you couldn't quite find it in Pinterest. Now we can create whatever it is in your image. So I love that, because then you're in a situation where what your brain sees, it wins. And that is such a huge thing. So instead of trying to find a connection to a generic photo, you're actually bringing yourself to life, those dreams to life. So number 3, and this is a big one, I am not techie, will I get lost? So I always joke, my husband is IT help desk at our house. I have 2 teenage daughters and myself, and you can imagine we're like, help. So I am not a techie guru. I don't know anything. When I'm doing my workshops and I say, okay, now the tech gremlins are doing something in the background, I don't know what it is. So no, you don't have to be techie to do this. There is some skill to learn and some practice to be had, but once you get a hang of it, you're definitely working. And if I can do it, honestly, anybody can do it. And it's really fun once you get going. Question number 4, what's the science behind this? So people often think vision boards are all woo-woo-y, and I like to say it's woo-woo-y and science brought together. So it is about the neuroscience, the reticular activating system, okay, the bouncer in our brain, the VIP list, the TSA agent, the one that lets you have whatever is important to you coming through that brain of ours, right? We get data coming in at us all the time. This one, it basically filters what it decides is the most important to you. And so when we look at the image of ourselves and we can connect to that image of our future self, that is what's most important, and it comes through. So the science behind it is massive, and there's been so much science behind vision boards for years, and now we're just taking it to another level. And number 5, I think, is it just for business goals? So I work a lot with mindset coaches, business coaches, manifestation coaches to help their clients have breakthroughs and rewire their brains. Okay, so it's not just about business though. It's not just about personal. It's not just about health and fitness. It really is a collection of all of those. And I see health and fitness, business, career, financial, and personal as kind of the top 4 that we work with a lot with different coaches, but it really comes down to what's most important to you. So I have a vision board strictly on my bucket list. So I have Machu Picchu, I have Paris with my daughter, I have all these beautiful sites that has nothing to do with my business. It has to do with location, time, and financial freedom, which is definitely part of my business goals, but it doesn't have to be just about business. It can be anything that you are enjoying, right? Maybe you want to be a fairy. I've done some really beautiful fairies and horses and unicorn images where people just really love that. So don't think that it has to only be business. Do I show my vision board to anybody? This is a question I actually get often. You don't have to. You can keep it quiet. You can show it. You can share it. I actually have a Facebook group with people who have gone through any of my workshops or my masterclasses. We get in there and we actually share some of the images that we do that we might not share in public. I have one on my vision board that is a very fitness specific one, and it's not something that I would really share to the world. So, we do that together in a group setting to feel a little bit less vulnerable, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word, but you don't have to share it. You can keep it to yourself. I do recommend you have it somewhere you can see, though, because that's the beauty and the science behind it. What if I don't know exactly what I want? Probably one of the biggest questions I get. I do help you with that. If you are working with a coach, or I'm working with your coach to figure that out, they will also help you with that. What I've been doing a lot with coaches is I've come into their containers, their programs, and they help you decide what to put on it. I create the tool, offer it, and then they help you figure out how to put it into action. Because remember, vision boards aren't magic. They never have been. They never will be. We still have to put the work in. Sometimes we don't always know how to get from one to another, and that's where the coaching comes into play. And it's just part of that process, right? It's a clarity session, it's understanding, and then it's putting it into belief, the rewiring our brain, and then getting it done. So there are, let me see, there's a few more in here. Give me 1 second. What is it? So can you explain the RES a little bit more? So I go into more detail on this in my workshops. I also have a video on my YouTube channel if you're interested to take a look. But basically, if you imagine, if your project manager of your life is your brain, okay, it keeps attention to what matters most, right? Not what's the loudest, but what matters most. And so we really want to make sure that our brain is getting that information that matters most to us. And what we put on our vision board, or what images we've created, those are what matters most to us, because that's what our future self is wanting. That's what we want. We want to have these big dreams that come to life. So it is really, really important. I'll tell you, when you start having these moments in your head, you will start seeing opportunities everywhere. So I had a client who was really trying to book some more speaking gigs. She's done a few. She wanted to speak more. So we created this beautiful image of her. And then literally out of nowhere, not true, we think it's nowhere, but it's everywhere, the clear goals are coming out. So they're seeing people talking on stage all the time. They're seeing invitations of who wants to be on stage. They're seeing themselves. And then she actually just got a new gig for her to talk on stage. And it was kind of out of the blue in terms of what she was not necessarily doing, but she was then having it in her system all the time. I have another client who was really wanting to write her book. It was a story about her mindset. And then she was like, literally, mindset books were jumping off the shelves at her. Now, obviously not for reals, but that's what happens. That's the power of it. So it's really, really important to understand that the science, the neuroscience behind it is not just woo-woo. We do believe in that. I do believe in that very much, but it does bring the two of them together. And then your brain doesn't know the difference between visualizing and doing. Can somebody explain that a little bit more? So if you imagine success is like the rehearsal, building, muscle for the future, that's the difference between, what we see versus what we're actually doing. And the neuroscience basically means that it's your brain's way of practicing without doing all the reps. Now, you still have to do the action steps to get there, but it's a mental imagination. Your mental imagination, the imagery that's going on in your head there is giving you the cues for your brain to see what's going to happen. Any athlete you've ever seen, Serena Williams is a good example. She talks through her game before she even steps on the court. That's the power of visualizing versus doing. And so they want to win. They go through the motions. And then, well, in Serena's case, when she was winning, she was winning. And so that's the beautiful thing about visualizing. And for me, I really struggle with visualizing. I did a live last Friday on this. And so I think for me, it's really helpful to see that and then help my brain work within that visualization. And then the last question I got was, why personalized versus generic, right? I'm not anti-Canva or anti-traditional vision boards. I actually love them, have taught them for 15 years. I love them. But what I found for me when I was like, playing with AI images last year, thought, why not try it on my vision board? And I was blown away by how powerful I felt looking at myself, looking back at me. So for example, last year I had a race and I put the name of the race and I put some running shoes and it was a trail race. So I even put, somebody running in the trails. And then I felt connected to that. That was my vision. Now my race image is me crossing the finish line, hands in the air, medal around my neck, staring back at me with a huge smile on my face, basically saying, you've already got this. Don't worry about it. Now, I still got to get my butt out of my chair and go for my run or get into the trails or do whatever. but it's just a little bit more powerful for our yes, a stock photo of somebody else's dreams, right, is not the same as me staring back at me doing it, right? So that's why it's such a big thing. And then, of course, because the generic vision boards cutting out images, maybe you can't find the perfect house, maybe you can't find the perfect outfit, maybe you got the wrong earrings, we make it so specialized to you, the gear you use, the things you have. I had a client who was like, I'm not using any Apple products. Okay. I don't wear gold. Okay. Like, I can create these images in any way that need to be done. So just really understand that the whole point of this is to design your life and then have it stare it back at you. So it is really, really powerful. And it's why I keep talking about it. It's why I keep doing these workshops. It's why I keep sharing it, because my ultimate goal would have thousands of these vision boards out there so people can really see that next level. And honestly, you can listen to me talk, you can see how excited I get. You can see me talking about it. Until you do it for yourself, you won't really truly understand. So this Monday, March 31st at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is actually, I want to say 8 p.m. in England and 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. You Australia folk want to come join us. We're doing another workshop, and basically I'm going to be showing everybody how to put together the vision board, create your own AI images, and really see the power of this. Now, it's a walkthrough workshop. It means that you start from step 1 and go all the way to step 20 and get it done with me. I hold your hand. I show you how to do it. And if you're interested in that, I would love to have you to join me. It's $47 to come for the workshop, and you will walk away, if you choose to join through the walkthrough, with a completed vision board of your own. So I will post the link somewhere down here and you can take a look at it, but definitely would love to have you there. And if you have any other questions and you're sitting here being like, I keep meaning to ask you, send them to me. I love answering them, and I'm very excited and passionate about talking about them. Anyways, have yourself a fantastic Friday, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye. Maybe not bye. We'll see. There we go. Bye.